Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from now sunny, gorgeous San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are excited for this wonderful Thursday. As you guys know, my favorite day of the week ends in D-A-Y. It's my favoriteest day of the week. I have bad news for 95% of you. For 95% of you, I'm going to just tell it like it is. You are mental. For 95% of you, you're mental. Judgmental. And I'm going to help you with that. When you are judgmental, believe it or not, that's pretty much a natural reaction or a response to unchecked thoughts and assumptions about other people. So the title of the video today is Judging Turns into Loving When the History Ain't a Mystery. Let me say that one more again. Judging turns to loving when your history ain't a mystery. And what do we mean by that? Let me be very clear. So there's a chapter in the book that I wrote, and in that chapter I bring out a scenario. Imagine that you are, say, in downtown San Antonio at the Majestic Theater. You come downtown in the middle of the day, you go to Bonahans to have your wonderful steak and lobster before the great show, having the time of your life. Sun's shining, birds are singing, lights are on, it's gorgeous. You go to the theater afterwards, enjoy an amazing night at the theater, and as you exit the theater, for whatever reason, the street lights are out. There must be some work going on down the street, and it's very, very dark, and you realize you parked 4 blocks away from the event center. And so no big deal. You're like, okay, we're fine. It's just a straight shot down the road. And as you are walking down the road, you notice that you and your loved one are just simply there by yourself, minding your own business, enjoying the night. And in the distance, about 50 feet away, you observe a figure. You see, when you see this figure whose image is shining off of the sides of the buildings who have internal lights, what you can make out in this, it's a man for sure, about 6'1", long stringy hair over his face, and even though it's dark at night, very dark sunglasses with a hoodie on top, sleeves rolled up, and tattoos from the tips of his fingers up to all you can see in his elbows, smoking a cigarette, being very still and walking towards you. Now you see, as you step into this scene in the theater of your imagination, I want you to connect with viscerally what you may be experiencing and feeling in this scenario with your loved one. Here you are in your dress and in the tux coming down. No one else is around, and he's coming to, and the closer he gets, you notice a knife in a sheath on the side of his pants. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? You see, it's natural to have inclinations about making snap judgments about people. What do you think you would feel at that moment? For most people, they would be gripped with concern, or they would be gripped with fear, or they would have some response that was negative. And this is a protectionary thing. You see, you have no details. You only have what is in front of you visually to observe. Are you with me? Now, let's flip the equation. Same story, except you're by yourself and you are a woman. You go to Bonahans by yourself. You buy your own steak and lobster. You have your glass of wine with it. You go across the street to the Majestic Theater. You're having a wonderful time. You get out. It's dark. The lights are out. And your car is 4 blocks away. And you are walking to your car, young lady, ma'am, by yourself, and you see the same exact image walking towards you. 6'1", long stringy hair, dark glasses, black hoodie, sleeves rolled up, tattoos up and down, smoking a cigarette, knife in the side of his pants, walking towards you. But here's the difference. Now you recognize him as the son who ran away 2 years ago. You see, the woman walking towards the shadow figure walking towards her is her son. And she knows it's her son by the gait, the way he walks. She knows it's her son by the color of his hair reaching down on his face. She knows it's her son because that's the hoodie he left the house with the night that his father beat him and his mother, and he vowed to never return again. You see, it's the mother seeing the son, and she has a different experience than the previous couple. Why? Because his history ain't a mystery. She sees when he was born into this family with the alcoholic father. She has the visceral feelings and memories of being beaten by her husband over and over again as he observed this from his room, crying at the top of his lungs. And she remembers when he became old enough to defend her and ultimately was hit with a bat by his father, scars up and down his arms where his father would put his cigarettes out on him. And the mother sees her son. What is the difference in the story? You see, the judgment turns to love and compassion because there's no mystery about the history. She knows the history. She knows what happened. She saw the scars. She saw the wounds. She was present for this horrific life experience, and she sees this shadowy figure that would intimidate everybody else as a broken, hurting, saddened child coming towards her. Do you see? Judging turns to loving when the history ain't a mystery. And this, my friends, is why the good Lord says in the Bible, judge not lest you be judged, because the measure you judge out to other people is exactly the measure that will come back to you. Because you see, friend, you don't know the history of that nincompoop, of that jerk, of that crazy person who is causing you some distress. You see, you don't know the history. You just see the manifestation of where they are in life right now and are quick to judge because there's a mystery about their history. But see, he knows the history. He knows that person who's treating you that way, that they were verbally abused that morning, that they were demoralized, that they were condescended to, and that's been going on for a history of years. And now this person in the marketplace, maybe the only time they can feel any empowerment is when they're ugly on other people, because hurt people hurt people. And when you realize that when the history is a mystery, you will not be loving, you will be judgmental. So I leave this with you today, my brothers and sisters. When you find yourself being judgmental, let the rhyme of Brother Collins go through your mind to help you to step out of judgment and into grace. And simply say to yourself, I'm judging. I find myself judging them. Crazy. I'm judging them because their history is a mystery. I don't know what brought them to this place in life. And as Diana Kokoska said one time, and I loved it, she said, I have come to accept that people are doing the very best they can do with what they have and what they know, and all of my suffering comes from my judgment of them. Let me say that again. Let that sink in. I have come to accept that people are doing the very best they can with what they know, and all of my suffering comes from my judgment of them. Do you want to step out of judgment? You want to move into loving? Then realize this. You don't know the history. It's a mystery. You don't know why they're acting that way. But he knows the history. And when you see the history and there's no mystery, you can love on what's manifesting as hurt that makes you want to judge. Judge not lest you be judged. The measure you judge out to others will be measured back to you. Do you want grace? Do you want mercy? Do you want acceptance and understanding, forgiveness? Then, my friend, I empower you today to sow those seeds yourself. Have a great day, guys.